What's up everyone, Danny Lyman back with another video. Today we are checking out the Sennheiser MKE 600 shotgun microphone. Most people buy these to overhead boom and not really talking too close like I am right now. So let's go ahead and put this up on an overhead boom and then we'll get more into close miking this like it is right now in a couple of minutes. So this is what it sounds like overhead boomed without the windscreen, but we're going to tell you something really cool about this microphone that's a little bit different than other microphones. Let me throw the windscreen on, hook it into the camera so you can hear the audio from the camera itself. You are going to hear a huge loss in sound quality for a second when we put it on the camera, but you'll notice a huge increase when we go back to XLR. So this is what it sounds like on camera in 3, 2, 1. You can either plug it into your audio interface with the XLR or plug it directly into your little Zoom recorder with XLR and use the phantom power on that. Or you can put a AA battery inside of this and it comes with this little squishy adapter here and you can put it on your camera and use it directly on your camera, which is really cool. So this is a on-camera or off-camera microphone. The only problem is when you're putting a microphone on camera, cameras generally have crappy preamps that don't sound as good, so you're going to get way better sound quality one running on XLR versus on a camera with crappy preamps. Alright, let's plug this back into the audio interface so you can hear it on the interface. So this is the way it sounds with the little windscreen on, so let's go ahead and take that off so you can hear what it sounds like. And shotgun microphones were not exactly designed to be used indoors. There's a couple of problems that can arise when using these indoors, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. So without the little windscreen, you're probably hearing a lot more high end. And one thing you got to think about is normally a shotgun microphone has a very narrow pickup pattern. It doesn't spread out too wide. So if you move off a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right, your voice is going to drop out really fast. So you generally need to make sure you keep your head right in the path of it. You can basically use it to point directly at your forehead, or you can point it down a little bit so it's pretty much pointing at your chest, and that's going to give you two different types of sound. So I would experiment with those two positions and see what actually gives you the best sound quality in your room. So point it directly in between your eyes or down at your chest. Now the problem with running a shotgun microphone indoors is it has these little grates on the side called resistance tubes, and they listen for unwanted sounds, and when your voice is going into the front of it and there's reverb in your room that slaps back into the sides a split second later, sometimes that can confuse the microphone. It's trying to cancel out the same sound as what it's hearing coming into the front, and then it gets confused and you get these warbling phasing sounds that aren't good. So that's just something to think about. Depending on the reverb in your room, you may or may not end up with phasing issues and a really weird sounding microphone. And of course, the further away the microphone is from you, the more room noise, the more reverb, the more fan sound, just the more everything is going to pick up that you don't want, including mouse clicks and keyboard clacks and all kinds of stuff like that. Now, generally when you're using a shotgun microphone, you're going to overhead boom it, but you can also kind of do like an underhead boom, I don't know what you call that, where it's down here and facing up at you. Now, a lot of voice actors like to use these type of microphones for close miking and just getting right up on top of it, and these kind of mics can give you this really nice, rich, full sound, but they're really bad for the pulsives like Peter Piper picked a peck of peppers. Now for me, my favorite position is to overhead boom it, but keep it a little bit closer. So we're probably about a hang 10 away from the microphone right now, and you can kind of position that a little bit how you want. Just remember though, if you angle it down too much, the reverb bouncing off your desk will come back into the microphone. So you kind of want to, I think it's best to point it kind of right in between your eyes there to avoid some of that reverb popping off of your desk. Now for indoor use, you're actually probably better off with a small diaphragm condenser microphone like this. They don't have the little grates on the side that try and cancel out the sound, so you don't have to worry about any type of phasing issues or anything like that with a microphone like this. Alright, so this is the SE Electronics V7. This is a small diaphragm condenser. You're not going to get any of those weird phasing issues when running something like this indoors, like you might with something like this. So small diaphragm condenser indoors, shotgun microphone outdoors. You can't use something like this on camera, unfortunately, but it's a very nice sounding microphone. And yeah, it's a better choice for indoors than a shotgun, honestly. Alright, so back on the Sennheiser, let's check the off-axis noise rejection. So check 1, 2. What's up, guys and gals? We are going to be turning this microphone around, and all you can hear right now is basically the room noise. When we go back this way, you're just going to hear the computer fans, and that's no good. And yeah, so that's pretty much the off-axis noise rejection. This thing does need to be pointed directly at you. Now, if you tap on this microphone, I mean, it's definitely going to make a little bit of noise. We're going to play this thing like a flute. Hey man, this is what it sounds like when you're right up on top of it. Okay, well maybe it doesn't quite sound like that. Alright, so here we are with the overhead booms. Let's go ahead and change the angle as we move it down so you can see how this sounds at different angles. And on a microphone like this, if you're listening on a really good set of headphones, you'll actually hear the difference of how it sounds when you position the microphone differently. So microphone positioning on something like this is very crucial, because they have a very narrow pickup pattern. There's basically like a little beam that comes out the front, and they don't pick up as much from the side. So you can really lose your sound quality pretty quickly, to where most microphones have a full cardioid pattern and pick up way more as you move around, but this one will lose the sound quickly. So anyways, let's go ahead and do that test again without the windscreen. I think it sounds way better without the windscreen. It picks up way more detail. But you know, if you're up close, you need a windscreen because of the Peter Piper pulses that nobody likes. And if you're outside, you probably want to run the windscreen just because it's going to pick up a bunch of wind that you don't want, like yeah, you don't want that. That's no good. Now we have the microphone boomed completely off camera where you can't see it. It's probably about 14 inches away or something. You're definitely going to start hearing a lot of room reverb. You're really going to start hearing the fans on my PC. And if I click on my keyboard, you're definitely going to be hearing that big time. So that's one of the problems of having a microphone too far away, is the room sound starts to be just as loud, if not louder, than your voice. And you're just going to get all the bad sounds from the room you don't want. So even in a semi-treated room like this, you don't want to have a microphone too far away. Now a microphone like this, I think you can overhead boom it about 6 to 8 inches away and still get a really nice sound. Maybe even about 12 inches away. That's about the furthest I would put it. I'm definitely hearing a little more room noise than if I bring it a little closer. So honestly, having a microphone off camera indoors in your studio is probably a bad idea. But like I said, for indoor use, I would rather use something like this little SE Electronics SE7 any day. It sounds so much better. I mean, shotgun microphones are made for outdoor use or in a really well-treated room that doesn't have any reverb. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. I would really appreciate that big time. If you're interested in getting a Sennheiser shotgun microphone or an SE Electronics V7 or something like that, there's going to be a link in the video's description and the video's pinned comment that's going to take you to my list of really awesome stuff on Amazon, where you can get these items and a lot of other really awesome stuff. There's going to be an affiliate link for some Waves VST plugins to edit your audio and make your audio sound really nice. Today we're not doing any audio editing whatsoever other than volume adjustments. That way you can see how these microphones sound with no changes at all, just the way they are as they are. And as you can probably hear, this little $99 microphone sounds way better indoors than the Sennheiser. So yeah, I would say don't use your shotgun microphones indoors. I mean, you can if you want to, but I definitely don't recommend it. Alright, so I think that's going to wrap this video up. If you drop down the video's description, you'll see my Discord server, my YouTube channels, and all kinds of good stuff, plus some links and some thingy-dingies that you might be interested in checking out, plus some stuff. Yeah, have a great day. Catch you later. Hope you liked the video. See ya.